friends, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to teach you step by step how to paint this really cute fall wreath, so let's jump right into it. Here are all the supplies I'll be using today. Some paintbrushes, watercolor paper, a jar of water, a paper towel, some paints, and also I have this pen and pencil to add some wording to the center of my wreath. And then optional is something to trace to get a circle shape for your wreath. You don't have to, you can just freehand it, but I traced a candle. Let's get started. Okay, first things first, I'm going to trace this candle that I just had on my desk just so that I can make my shape kind of go around the circle and I know where I want it on my paper. There I have my circle, and now I'm just going to lightly erase it a little bit so that you can't see the pencil too much through the watercolor, because it will be harder to erase the pencil once we've watercolored on top of it. There I have my pencil very, very lightly on my paper, and I'm going to start off with my size 12 round brush first, put these other ones aside, and the first thing I'm going to do is just a very light wash of this orangish color I already have on my palette. I'm also going to add a little bit of this orangish kind of yellow brown color to it, just for a little bit more pigment. Dip my brush in my water, rub it along the edge of my jar, and then I'm going to do the pressure stroke for my leaves, and I'm going to be using that for most of this video today and my leaves, so it's really easy. It's light pressure, heavy pressure, and then light pressure again with your paintbrush. So I'm going to kind of make my stem of my leaf go along my circle a little bit, and then I'm going to do that pressure stroke just like this for my leaves along my wreath, and I'm going to try and make it so it kind of follows that wreath form. All right, I'm going to do another one of those leaves, but kind of coming down here, just work my way along the wreath, doing my pressure strokes with my leaves. Light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure, light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure, and then just repeat that step. And that is a main stroke that you're going to want to know when watercoloring, and it's a great stroke for leaves or flowers as well. There we go. I'm going to rinse out my brush, and then I'm going to take my heat gun and just go over this real quick to make sure it's all dry so that we can carry on with our next step. I'll link my heat gun in the description box for you guys along with all the rest of my supplies, but I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. There we go, we have some of our base leaves for the wreath, and now I'm going to do the same thing but with a green color just to add some contrast. And I kind of like to make these leaves go in a circle, and so I'm just going to follow that line and repeat the same thing now just with a green color. Light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure, and just kind of repeat that and make these little messy leaves. There we go, and do the same thing right here with my brush. It's really just using that shape of the brush to make those leaves. There we go. Now I'm going to let this dry, or you can use a heat gun like I'm going to. Now that I have most of my background leaves done, I'm going to put aside my 12 round brush, and I'm going to pick up my size 6 round brush, dip it in my water, and then I'm going to get some of this yellowish brown paint here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of brown to that just to darken it a tad bit. And then we're going to make some leaves with this. So I'm kind of going to do the same thing, add them where I think I should, and then we're going to carry on. So going the direction of my wreath again and doing some thin light pressure, almost medium pressure, then light pressure again, and just fill in these branches here, just like this. Question of today's video is, what is your favorite color right now? What colors are you into? Because I know personally for me, my colors kind of change with the season I'm in, or the year, or what time of year it is, because I love just different colors at different times of the year. So right now I'm loving these tones, these brownish green tones. I really am enjoying these right now, and I love painting with them and using them in all sorts of things. But comment down below what your colors are right now, what your favorite colors, what you like to wear or use. I would love to hear from you. I love answering all your guys' comments. And yeah, I'm going to continue this throughout the wreath here. This is my last one I'm going to add. And now I have my size 2 round brush. I'm going to put away my size 6 for the moment, and I'm going to dip it in this dark brown I have on my palette, and I'm going to make kind of little branches the best I can, and I'm going to try and go thin and not have them be super straight, like a little bit jagged a little bit, and then we can add little fall berries to our wreath. So I'm just holding this lightly and kind of shaking my hand a little bit to get those branch-like shapes and trying to follow that curve of the wreath as well. A little bit more of that brown going in, just lightly, light strokes to make these little branch shapes. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to rinse out my brush, and I'm gonna take a little bit of red and add it to my brown, not a ton, just a little bit, and to have this dark reddish color. And I'm just going to kind of put that on the end of those little twig-like branches we made. Messily, just add that to that. I personally really like a really loose, messy style of watercoloring, and I know everyone is different, so this might not be for you, but it's personally what I like. I feel like it looks very natural. Okay, there we go, and now I'm going to give that a minute to dry, and while that's drying, I am going to add a few more leaves. So I'm going to take this really dark green I already have on my palette. I know it's green, black, and brown all mixed together. I'm going to tap my brush on my paper towel just to make sure I don't have too much pigment. And then I'm going to go in like this and just make some really simple strokes with my brush and just using the shape of my brush to make these leaves. And I'm going to repeat that all along, following my wreath form here. Just kind of dragging the tip of that brush to get that shape. Just like so. And there we go. Pretty simple and easy. Just takes some practice and some time. And there we are. I love how this wreath is coming along so far, but I do want to add a little bit more brown to it. So I'm going to take my brown color, put it over here on my palette, and then take a little bit of this terracotta color and mix it together. And then I'm going to add a titch of this green, and there we go. So now we have one more color we have here, and I'm going to make really little leaves here, just a little titch of my brush, just dragging it back and forth like that, and kind of go around in a rounded shape for my wreath. Really messily, easy, simple, just like so. Kind of crisscrossing them a little bit, just adding a little bit more fullness. There we are. I'm gonna add a few more, one more here, one more here. I'm gonna add a little bit more, and I might just do leaves here just to add a little bit more in spaces I feel like it's a little bit empty. So I'm just kind of doing these messy leaf strokes here to fill in some empty space, just like this. Just adding a little dab here and there, just like so. A little bit here, a bit up here. And there we go. Now it looks a little bit more full and not as empty. Just dragging that brush along in some places. And there we go. Rinse out your brush and you have finished your cute little fall wreath. Now I'm going to let this completely dry and then I'm going to go on top with this little fine liner pen I have. I'll link it below because it is my absolute favorite, and I'm going to write a little word there in the center. That is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to paint this simple but cute fall wreath. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below and leave a comment and answer today's question of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!